Okay, should be live. I'm just running the live stream setup just to find out if I've sorted the RF getting into the audio chain problem. I've got a different antenna up for 2 meters outside. That's I think the audio might be clipping a bit as well, so I'm just going to have to keep an eye on that. So the antenna I'm using is my ground plane antenna, which I built some time ago, actually a few years ago. Not long before I moved QTH. So unfortunately, me putting that up did cause some objections at the old QTH, so I had to remove it and then move QTH because the gentleman that made the objections was not a savoury character. So I didn't really want to get into any domestics about that, so I'm just going to switch to that camera. So I've got the same radio, so it's all the same pretty much. Same cameras, that's one over there. There's one that you can see me on now, which is that one. Same microphone, same audio mixing desk, same USB sound card, pretty much same everything. The only difference is the antenna. And no handhelds being used today. So I'm just going to turn the volume down a bit on this and we will see. So I'm going to go to frequency I know that's active, that not active, or just go to S21. I can't remember the frequency of that off the top of my head because it's all preset in here. So let's turn that volume down, push the monitor button. I should still get the same nasty pager interference, but you can't hear it, it just sounds like static. I'm getting a warning about the resolution again, which is very annoying. So let's see what happens. First thing I'm going to do is check the frequency's not in use. Assuming anyone can hear me, or not as the case may be. Let's see what happens. Is the frequency in use, please? Mike 0, Whiskey November Uniform. Asking. It's always best to ask a couple of times. So yeah. Let's see. Is the frequency in use, please? Mike 0, Whiskey November Uniform. Asking. Alright. I think the RF is still getting in, but I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as it was, because it's knocking out the laptop I'm using for the stream control panel. It's not knocking out my tablet though, which is okay. So I think it's still getting in, but I don't know on the audio until I play this back. So let's see. I've not heard anyone on that frequency, so I'm just going to transmit and see what happens. Bear with. Mike 0, Whiskey November Uniform. Just carrying out some local tests to make sure there's no or very little RF getting back into the shack. Yeah, it's causing some sort of chaos on my but that laptop shielding's been compromised anyway, so it's kind of to be expected because it's, well, not intact anymore. Right. Mike 0, Whiskey November Uniform, now clear of the frequency. Right, so far I hadn't noticed it do exactly what it was doing yesterday, so I think the problem may be solved, but I don't know at the moment. It might just be reduced. The antenna, like I say, is my ground plane antenna and is actually somewhat higher up in comparison to where the ever-ready dipole was. And the ever-ready dipole, I think those metal bits are actually made of steel, so I don't think that's actually helping the situation. Steel isn't particularly good in an RF environment where that antenna is made of copper wire and therefore is. So right, let's try the repeaters and see where we are with those. So I'm going to switch my SWR meter to read low power because I'm checking the SWR on that antenna as well because it's not been used in a while and I don't know if it still works. Although I was getting funny readings on my VNA when I checked it earlier, so, you know, I think the VNA might not be calibrated properly, so I'll have to obviously look into that. So I can sort of still hear the pager noise in the background, but don't need the I don't need the squelch open for that. And this is low power. This is about 10 watts. Before I was transmitting at the radio's full power of 25 watts. So this should be, well, they say it's 10 watts, but with these Chinese ones, it's not usually 100% accurate. So yeah, this stream won't be very long. As soon as I'm finished, I'll be ending the stream. I just wanted to set everything up and run a stream just to see what would happen. So I'm just gonna check that I can get into the repeaters, because bearing in mind I don't use this radio very often anyway. So let's see if I can get into IR first. Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, checking access to GB3IR. Okay, the IR repeater responded, as I expected it to do. Okay, now the next repeater I'm going to try is GB3HG near Thirsk. Now, this is the one I can't get into on a handheld, but I can get into it on this. And this will be transmitting at the 25 watts. So I'll just change my SWR meter accordingly. There is a lead that came with that allows me to have a lamp lit in there, but I don't know where that is at the moment, so I'm not going to bother. It's not really a critical thing. Okay, so I'm going to give the HG repeater a try now. Let's see. 0, Whiskey November uniform, checking access to GB3HG. Okay. So far, so good. I can get into the HG repeater, I can get into IR, but let's see. I don't want to do that, do I? I want to go on to... CDs are usually a tricky one for me. It's quite some distance. Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, checking access to GB3 CD. No. No is the answer to that one. I don't want that button. Let's go back to A. So, I know it's working. It's transmitting. I don't know how much RF's getting into the audio chain because it's hard for me to tell. The VU meter doesn't look as though it's moving too badly. Right. So, I don't know whether having this SWR meter in line is contributing to that or not, because I'm using a RG213 as the feeder in here, which is running all the way to the window jumper behind me, and outside, after the window jumper, it's RG8 Mini, which is the same coax I was using on the Ever Ready dipole, just to keep the losses down. So hopefully that's sorted the RF issue. I've just noticed I'm starting to clip into the red again with my talking. So, you know. So hopefully that's fixed the issue. There is one other test I want to perform. And it's with this radio. I'll put the antenna back on it first. So I'll just power it back up. And this is where you lot can't look at my pin number, so you're not allowed. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put this onto 1448125, which is the frequency for MB6RY, I think it's called. So we'll find out. Yeah, MB6RY, that is a System Fusion gateway run by Andy M1 SDE in Richmond, but unfortunately his QTH is actually quite low down. I know roughly whereabouts he lives. I haven't spoken to Andy in a while, so I hope he's doing okay. And I suspect he's working a lot more than normal because he's an HEV driver. So I'm going to connect this up to the main antenna and see if I can hear that gateway. Because I might as well do that while I'm on, and whether this will cause any RF problems. Okay. Because that one should be connected to the Hubnet. Right, let's see. This will tell me if I can hit it. I'm just going to press the wires X button first and see. That responded, but I didn't get anything back. I did this time. It's showing it's not connected. Which is interesting. Yeah, I've got nothing back from that, but apparently I can hit it depending on the weather, the wind blowing. So I think he must have disconnected it from the internet or something. I can't come out of that now. There we go. So I'll just go to that one. So must have disconnected it or something, or the Hubnet's down, or that's down. But it works, but I'm not sure if it put any RF in. But this is a 5-watt radio, which is something that we don't want to be forgetting there. I'll plug that into the back of this. Right, so I've done all of the tests I need to do. Right. Well, I think I've done them all. Yeah, no, I shouldn't do this. Actually, I'm not going to do this. That would be a bit naughty of me. PMR 446 at 25 watts is certainly not something I want to be doing. And I can't change the power level because it's a preset. I'm not going to mess with PMR 446 with that. So I could try it on 70sems, but no one uses 70sems around here anyway. So that'll probably be the better way of checking to make sure it's not doing the same thing on UHF, because that antenna does sort of work on UHF. I don't know how. You know, I was saying no one uses 70sems. There's somebody there on the SU18, which I can't remember the frequency of. I'll have a look on this. There. SU20 is the calling channel, so I'll try SU21. See if I get the same issue. Because that antenna does work on 70sems for some reason. Probably because it's a harmonic, but you know. Is this frequency in use, please? Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform. And I get no pager noise whatsoever down there. Yeah, there is. It's people on there, I think. Yeah, I'm just getting the same S meter reading there, so. Normally I hear absolutely nothing on 70sems. Nothing heard. Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform. Just carrying out some tests. Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform. Clear. Right, so on 70 centimeters, I'm not getting. It doesn't see. I didn't see the VU meter move. Yeah. Trying to get back on here because the rotary encoder on this is rather rubbish. So I'm trying to get back onto 2 meters. It's not working very well. Okay. That didn't work, so let's do that. There we go. So, as far as I can tell, I think I might have cured the problem, but I don't know. I'll update the comments below the video after I've ended the stream, because I'm about to end the stream now. It seems to be okay. It seems to be working fine. Nothing seems to be untoward here. So so I've come to the conclusion that when the radio is at 25 watts, which is its full power, I'm getting the RF in, well, lots of it on the ever-ready dipole, but it doesn't seem to be as bad on this ground plane antenna. Well, that's what I can tell anyway. I did see the LEDs on the mixing desk light up, so I think it might be getting in. 77 seems to be pretty much okay. The only thing now I need to do is get rid of the pager noise, and to that end I'm going to have to build a filter, which I'm also going to have to build the tuning capacitors for, which is unfortunate, because those are quite difficult to come by with there being no rallies on or anything at the moment with the current situation. So, yeah, it's Paul, Mike 0, Whiskey November uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Keep yourself safe out there, guys, and whilst in this period of lockdown, if you've got nothing else to do, why not get on the radio? It doesn't matter if it's amateur radio or CB. We've got CB there, as you know. President Grant 2, which my spouse doesn't like because of its name. I'm not going to explain the full ins and outs of that, but my spouse doesn't like it because of its name. So, yeah. So, or even PMR 446 if you want to go out on the hills, if you're allowed to, which I think you are if you can walk to them. I'm not 100% sure of the rules. So, and evening to Lee the brewer there, who's just popped up. So, obviously, I've only had to put this stream on just to test everything was working, and I'm going to be ending the stream now. So, 7 freeze for now, guys, and good night.